Welcome back to the Power Chat as we continue our discussion of Kansas State football and his coaching career with Kansas State defensive coordinator Scottie Hazelton. We are sponsored by Blue Mark Energy, and let's get into the good stuff, starting with the big question, the beard. Welcome back to the Power Chat with Scottie Hazelton here in the WTC Gig Powered Studios, and thank you to our sponsor, Blue Mark Energy out of Tulsa. Good K-Staters. Coach, we talked a little bit about K-State, and I want to get back to K-State, but a couple of very important topics. First of all, when was the life decision to grow the beard? This is important.
This is a huge topic. Yeah.
It's a huge topic.
I was in Jacksonville, and I don't know, we were working some hours and I didn't shave for a while, so.
And just kept going.
Sure.
How did Brook feel about the beard at first?
I don't know, she liked it. She likes it. I cut it off, I guess it was like 2 Easters ago. My kids were just in the, walking by and we're like, hey, why don't you cut off your beard? So I was cutting my hair, and so I cut it off. And
like clean shaven?
Clean shaven.
How long does it take you to grow that thing?
I don't know. It comes back pretty fast, That's why it's there, Otherwise, you got to shave all the time.
I tried to grow a beard once. I just looked homeless. I just never felt.
I think most people would say I look homeless too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like at first it was a very it's a good thing because you might be at places that were like coaching events and people wouldn't think you were a coach, so it kind of shielded you from getting any attention. And
I like that. Yeah.
Now it's kind of opposite.
Let's be honest though, Scottie Hazelton without the beard looks like a small town pastor. Yeah,
sure.
Nice, respectable guy with the beard. You went biker.
Biker.
Yeah, biker. You look like the tough guy now.
Oh, sure, I guess.
But that's what a defensive coordinator should be.
Yeah, I don't know.
Got the.
I just kind of appreciate that they let me keep it wherever you move to. So it's.
I would get on the person who told you to shave that thing. It's like art.
I think my wife would too.
It's art. It's beautiful.
It's art.
You're an outdoors guy. Is that from growing up in Colorado?
I think so. I enjoyed it there. I loved it in college, I mean, that's one of the reasons why you picked Durango too. I mean, you can go four-wheeling or, go fishing down San Juan and
That's what's great about Colorado.
Yeah, it was real fun.
There's so many different environments, different.
Correct.
You got the mountains, you got.
Yeah. You can go out east and hunt birds. You can do. I mean, it's a good spot. It's hard to do now. I mean, it's now your life. Your life is football and go home and whatever the kids are doing. Whatever activity they got going is your hobby now.
Have you done much hunting since you came to Kansas?
No, not at all.
That sucks, man. Oh, let's get Coach Hazelton. It's pheasant country, man. You get out
I know. I think I might embarrass myself if I went out now.
That's funny.
Been a while. I had to go shoot some skeet first to.
Get warmed up for that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
What would your ideal outdoors day be? What is your thing?
Well, me and my wife always joke, really I'd like to, we'd like to retire in East Texas or something like that, someplace where there's, I know whitetail are little deer compared to, muleys and stuff like that where in Colorado. But, you wake up in the morning and go out on your back porch and see deer walking through and maybe shoot one of them and right out in a four-wheeler and bring it in, or wake up in the morning and go out to a little pond and fish for whatever. I mean, I don't care. You can catch sunnies or whatever for all I care and throw them back or keep them at, just, I don't know, just being out there is great, and having a day where you go out and get on a horse and ride around or something, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, I don't even mind, like, I spent some time in Wyoming when I was in junior high, and, you know, I would go swath hay, and we had square bales, so you'd bale it up and we'd stack them, and I'd still do that, you know, on a, you know.
Just you want to retire to a ranch.
Yeah, and just a little one.
Little one, not a full working ranch.
No, just something where I could have some chickens and a few cows and just putz around all day. And
horses.
Definitely horses. Definitely horses.
Horses are cool, but they're a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got dogs. They don't like to be ridden.
We got a Great Dane, and so
that's pretty close.
My 7-year-old rides him sometimes.
It's pretty close. What got you into a Great Dane? Those are cool dogs.
My niece had it, and she couldn't take care of him anymore. So we're like, definitely we'll take him. Yeah, he's a well-trained dog. He's good.
Yeah, my buddy Ben Lieber played for the Vikings forever in K-State. He's a Great Dane guy.
Yeah,
he had Great Dane in college. I mean,
yeah, that's cool.
It's really cool.
That's cool. When you got like a 120-pound dog, that thing barks too. It's deep now. I like to get one for each of my kids and train them up to be attack dogs, and you can send them to college with them just in case.
Yeah,
because
like personal security.
No doubt.
Oh, okay.
You know,
might be a little tough in class, but it's a pretty good idea.
Stay in the apartment or whatever. You know, you go walk them around.
I like it.
Yeah.
So you come to K-State.
Yep.
Was that an easy decision? I know he started with someone else and then came back around to you, but when it came back around, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it was more like you talk about, we move around a lot. It was more like a family deal. You know, I mean, I got my mom's advice too. I talked to the kids, and you know, they were kind of split on the idea. You know, my wife, she's got really good friends that were on the staff up there at Wyoming, and people we'd known for a long time. And so I think every move you make is a tough decision. You know,
especially when the kids get older. That
yeah, I
mean, you're getting invested now. You're getting close to high school, and
you know, our oldest still goes back to Jacksonville and sees her friends, and our 12-year-old still, you know, wants to go to Laramie all the time. You know, we send her there this summer and stuff like that. When they got breaks, they travel too and go see their friends from wherever in the world they're from. You know.
Yeah.
But it becomes that. It becomes more of a family deal. You know, I mean, it's a deal that, you know, ultimately the decision comes down to you, but you do get everybody's thoughts and kind of what they think, and hey, we're moving to a place, and this is what the good and the bad. And, you know, I mean, my kids are more like, is there a pool? No. Is it warmer than here? Yeah. Oh, okay, that's good. And is it, you know,
yep.
You know, those kind of, those are the things that are important to them right now. You know.
Yeah. So you end up here. When you first take a look at the talent you have, what are your thoughts? I mean, because there's some really good players, and there was obviously areas of lacking in depth, and you had to be alarmed at some areas.
Well, you know, you go through and you're unsure. You know, sometimes like winter work, like we had a workout this morning at 6. You know, and sometimes you can't always tell.
You had a workout at 6 the day after the Super Bowl?
Yeah. They have Super Bowl. And then we watched defensive ends for like the last 2 hours. Watched like 25 of them. You know, I mean,
I can't play for you.
You know, that's
for a variety of reasons.
That's all we do. And then we go watch recruiting tape for a long time. You know,
my God.
yeah. The guys are in there, all there at 6 and running. You know, I think the coaches had a harder time getting up than the players did. But you know, sometimes those will lie to you. Those winter workouts. You know, you see them moving around. You know, you get into there, and sure, you could get concerned, like, hey, we look a little short there, or this guy might not be able to transition like you like, or, you know, this guy's burst off the edge isn't as good as you know, and you're looking for good and bad and flaws and good things and bad things, and you're trying to get a feel for the guys.
Right.
Well, really, once you get to spring ball, that's really when it starts to count, because then you might see a guy that, hey, he looked really good in the gym running around and stuff like, but he's not as good at ball as you thought he was.
Player.
Yeah, and then you get the opposite. Like this guy, he was okay when he was running around, but that dude's a player. You know, and you get some. So it's that's a little bit like recruiting. You know, there's so many things that are, you know, there's all the rival stuff. Hey, this kid's fight, and sometimes sure. I mean, you know, I remember recruiting like Jalen Smith, and you walk in there and watch him do some bags, and you watch and you're like, oh, this kid could I mean, he could go play it.
Right.
He could start for us at SC right now, you know. But then there's other guys that, well, hey, he's good here, but it kind of lacks here. And those are the guys that you really got to evaluate hard, because sometimes, you know, you might see him in a non-padded thing, and it's not ball.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's some attributes you look for: how fast is their burst, what their change direction, all the different measurables and stuff like that. But when it comes to ball, these guys here are ball players. Right. You know, that's something Coach Schneider did very well. Is the guys here, they play hard. They were committed to the team. They loved ball. So when you're throwing out bits of information to them, even before we started playing, they were soaking it up, and they had that want to. And so, that's the hard part, is it changes. You know, athletically, you might say, hey, thought we were missing it. Well, then that ends up being okay, and then, well, something else that you thought you were okay at, we're good. You know, so it's hard to judge sometimes wearing shorts and T-shirts.
I would think in recruiting, the temptation to either go one way and get the incredible athlete because I'm a great coach, I can teach him these things, or get the technical kid who might be a lesser athlete that might have a lower ceiling, but he's going to get to that ceiling. I think that'd be a tough balance to figure out what you want to do.
You know, I've heard people talk before. You know, you look at the floor sometimes too. Mm-hmm. You know, if you got a guy that could be here, but his floor, he doesn't fit in your program, and you got a guy that might not have as high of a ceiling, but it's got a guaranteed, which one do you take? You know, and I think that it's a combination. You know, really. I mean, you need a big group of those guys who have maybe a little bit lower ceiling, but are always going to be program guys. They're going to do things right. They're going to be great special teamers. You know, at worst, you know, they're going to work themselves into a spot that, you know, they can self-create themselves. You know what I mean? And you got to find that out about them.
And they're willing to be the backup that comes in and suddenly has to perform. Yeah,
or they're never going to get beat out once they get a starting job, because I know that dude's a better athlete than me, but my competitiveness will not allow me to ever get beat out.
Right.
And they're always going to be better. You know, you're looking for, sometimes you got guys on your team that you recruit to beat out every time, and they just keep their job because they're the best.
Yeah.
And that's who they are. And that's cool too.
That's my thought on why some programs that get the 5-star guys don't win on the field, because
there's some of that.
They don't have those guys, kind of the spine of the team, the backbone that this is how you got to beat me out. You got to be better than me.
Yeah.
And they've got a bunch of guys that have a really high ceiling, but they're also
they may never reach that potential. You know, and that was the good about, you know, when we got here. It's not like we got to a program that was lacking in discipline, or lacking in effort, or lacking in guys loving ball. You know, where other places I've been at, there's times when you question that, like they're all in it for just them, or they're looking for the wrong thing, you know.
That was one of the things when Chris came in that I thought, you know, you can talk about schemes and people get caught up in that, but the type of player Coach Schneider recruited, the demands he put on them in terms of taking care of business and character, just fit so perfectly in with what you guys are trying to do. Yep. Even if the schemes were different and you asked them to do different things football-wise, they would buy in because we've had these demands on us.
Yeah, I mean they were worked. You know, I mean they were worked, and they love ball. And when you get a kid with high effort, that's got good character, and they love ball, it's really easy to coach them.
Right.
You know, sure. You know, you throw a deep ball up, and I'm a linebacker one-on-one or something. I'm going to lose that battle every once in a while if I'm not the extreme athlete or whatever. But at least they're going to be there to battle the ball. And, you know, if they lose it, okay, they lost it, but they did everything right. You know, I mean, you could get a kid that can cover everybody in the world, and he might not know what he's doing or have the discipline to do right or get the check or move or whatever.
Right.
And then that dude's wide open. You know, you see a lot of that too.
You know, in your linebackers, I thought particularly Daquan Patton made a lot of progress this year.
Yeah,
he was the guy that looks the role at any level he wants to play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you walk into an NFL locker room today and people go, that guy looks like a football player.
Yeah,
always looked the role, but he wasn't always. He didn't make the right reads at times. He he didn't flow the right ways. And then by season's end, well, the interception he had, when he dived back in, it was against Kansas.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, I said, "Holy crap!" Daquan Patton read that before the snap of the ball.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that, and I think that that's kind of the way. It takes a while to learn a new scheme. I mean, let's be real. I mean, we were asking these kids to do stuff that was similar, but it's different.
It was different.
It's different, and so
it was a more aggressive posture.
Correct. And everyone has their own system, what they do.
Right.
But so our system, we just try to bring it in and say, hey, listen, this is who we're going to be, hopefully for a long time, and let's learn the system. And it takes a while. You know what I mean? It takes a while, especially to get through. Okay, I kind of figured out what I'm supposed to do, and now I'm trying to figure out how I'm supposed to do what you're asking me to do. And then, okay, I'm starting to feel comfortable with those two. Okay, now all this stuff you've been talking about, like, okay, so if this dude's here, he's going to run a route like that, and I actually start to notice those things. It takes a little while, but as you keep building on it and stacking and talking about, different guys,
and they're just doing it.
They're starting to do it. Yeah, you hope that they can keep rolling.
Let's roll back a little bit further. You're in spring, and you got a really special linebacker, Justin Hughes.
Yeah, he's a smart kid.
Great kid.
Yeah.
Blows out that knee.
Yeah.
You had to be thinking, you know what? No. It's horrible for a kid. You've been through the same thing with knees.
Yeah. Like I said, I've, it helps. It helps this way. I think that, like, when you look back at your life or my life or all of our lives, and we can look back at things with years of experience, there's reasons why things happen. So you just got to trust that's got a plan for your life, and so when that happens, yeah, you're disappointed, but like it doesn't affect me like it once might have. You're like, listen, this happened. Well, there's a reason. I don't know.
We don't need to know it.
We get him the next year back. That's great. And it helped Eli, because Eli played that spot for a whole year and was forced to communicate and do all these things. And now if they're both on the field together, think of the communication we can have next year, and how we, whatever the purpose was, I don't know, but you just got to take it in stride. I mean, it's next man up. That's how football's always been. The dudes you put out there, whatever 11 of them there are, they're your starters. So let's go.
Were you able to, I don't know if counsel was the right word, but talk to them about that kind of thing when it happened? That it's hard to understand this, but you got to find the good in this.
Yeah, I mean, you try to share those things. I don't know that college age guys always hear you when you talk to them, but yeah, you try to bring those things up and you try to stay positive with it all the time. But I don't know that, I heard it when it happened to me necessarily, and I don't know that. Guys hear different things, and maybe they take a bit, and maybe in 15 years they look back and they'll say, hey, that's why, and hopefully they can get that done.
Yep. Trust me, I'm a big believer in there's a plan. You don't know it, but
yeah, man.
This happens for a reason. Let's figure out why.
Let's roll. Yeah.
Let's go. You had to be pleased with this season. I mean, I know that the numbers weren't always what you wanted, but
sure,
you kept the points manageable for your offense to exceed, and you got teams off the field on third down.
Sure,
that was the most dramatic change in K-State defense, was your success on third down. It really didn't matter that it was 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 6. You got them off the field at, it turned out to be the second best rate in the country. As a D coordinator, that's got to be really pleasing.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird deal because like 3 years ago I was at a place and we were number 1 in the country in takeaways, and so you think everyone thinks you got the answer how to get takeaways, and really it's just happened to hit that way at that year, and then the next year we're not very good. So when you're good at something and you can lean on that, it's cool, and I think that the guys, I think they enjoy the third down package. I think they really want to work to get to that, and they really want to work to understand the ins and outs of that, and they I mean, they always play hard, but they really work at something like that because it's fun for them.
Well, if you have belief in I mean, they really believed on third down they were getting the team off the field.
Yeah, and sometimes the other team helped us too. I mean, there's times you look and you say, oh, that's a first down, but then they drop it, and you're like, oh, hey, that's great. However we get off the field, I don't care how it is. It's great, yeah. And you get some of those drops back, and you say, well, maybe we're not as good, but at least they understand the importance. The other part that I think that we really tried to sell was red zone. I know, like, percentages wise, red zone defense were horrible. But if you looked at percentage of field goals or how many touchdowns they scored, that's different, and I think that those 4 points, you add up those 4 points and then you do it again and there's another 4 points and you do it again. There's 12 points. That's the difference between scoring 20 and 32. You can win games at 20, not at 32. Or, I'm not saying Mess can't score. Yeah. I'm just saying it makes it harder.
Yep. I'd love to talk to you about 2020, but we'll have plenty of time to do that down the road. But I need to get to the ending phase of this discussion. Years ago, we started the thing called the overtime on our podcast, and it's when people just started asking us bizarre stuff. And so we started answering. Now the overtime podcast is a separate podcast. But we have 5 questions from our user, KNED, one of our veterans on the board.
Okay.
What kind of evaluation does the old DB coach, Scottie Hazelton, give Chris Kleiman as his DB career went?
I think he did a good job.
You're saying he's a technician?
Oh, no doubt. He's a technical guy that understands how his guys fit into the scheme. The cool thing about working with him was he was a coordinator, so I might come up with an idea that I would say, hey, what if we did this? And he would say, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. And he would say, because this, and you'd say, oh, sweet. But he was also humble enough that if he said the same thing, I might tell him that, oh, that's really stupid too because of this.
It's great to have that.
It was great, yeah.
It's my guys do. Don't tell me I'm stupid if it's stupid.
Yeah.
First of all, before I get asked this actual question, do you like the nickname Skyhawks? It's a weird nickname. It's a weird.
It's a weird nickname. It's fine.
Do you know the Fort Lewis Skyhawks fight song?
No. No.
I'm almost happy you don't.
Yeah. It changed. The Raiders guy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if there is one.
That's sad.
Yeah, I'm sure there is, but it changed in the kind of when I was playing there. So it's.
Have you reached the summit of any of the Colorado 14ers, the 14,000 foot?
Yeah, I've been hiked up Pikes Peak before. Yeah.
Do you like that?
Love it.
Does the knee hold up doing that?
Not as good as it once did, but walking, hiking, those kind of things, going upstairs is easy. Downstairs, jogging, pounding, those things are the ones that hurt.
That's what I got a horrible knee, and it's going down.
Yeah, down the stairs.
It's that moment of suspension over when your weight's
So we started at 6 a.m. and hiked to the top Pikes Peak and then drove a car back down. Hitched a ride on one of the people who ride up.
That's great.
Yeah, it was a great day.
I've done 14s before, but it's always been in the car both ways. It's less athletic, but
I just don't like carrying water. That's the thing. You start off and you're walking, and you're like, geez, do I need all this water? And by the end of the day, you're searching for water.
Should have brought more water.
Yeah.
Should the Jacksonville Jaguars move to London?
Definitely not.
Is that just weird, having a team in London?
That'd be weird. I don't even
know how you manage it.
You'd have to have a place in the United States because, taxes over there is different. It's a different deal. All the guys who went over there and played have to pay a different tax rate.
I feel like that's the thing the owners sit around and think, wouldn't that be neat? And then when it's their team, they're like, no.
I think that the Jags make a lot of money off of playing over there almost every year, because London doesn't have a team. They don't understand, but they sell a lot of gear.
I'm fine. If they want to go play a game or two, that's something.
Yeah.
It's all right. Let's wrap this up with this. What's the strangest thing that happened to you on an outdoors adventure? Ever had any encounters or weirdness or, Lord, I'm going to die out here?
Yeah, I don't know. I once spent we used to go hang out, and there's a place that we'd like to go camping in the kind of somewhere between Durango and Cortez, Colorado, that was up in the mountains, and we'd ride up in a 4-wheel trail and get out and walk for a long way, and there was a cave. Ooh. And it was like a sandstone cave, and the water would run down, and it made a huge cave that you could pitch tent in, and it was like being on a beach. It was really cool, and you go shoot stuff around there and go fishing and stuff. And they actually found out later that we always used to make fun. There's like these holes in the walls and stuff. And they found out it was an old like Indian like I don't know, place where they used to live in the cliffs, like part of the cliff buildings and stuff like that. So
like,
can't go there anymore. It's like
now it's historic.
Yeah, now it's like a historic place.
Technically, isn't everything historic?
I think so.
I think so.
I'm sure something happened in the river that we used to fish in.
I know,
or,
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, they found mammoth bones out here by town. So I can't walk on this land because a mammoth did? Come on, man. That doesn't make sense. Coach, I appreciate it very much. It's been fun.
Thanks for having me.
That's going to do it for this week's Power Chat with Scottie Hazelton. We'll be back with another Power Chat real soon at GoPowerCat.com.